Sometimes belief, hard work, and trust in yourself can change your fate. This is the story of an African girl named Favor. Favor was the only child of her loving parents. At the age of 13, tragedy struck. Both her mother and father died in a plane crash, or traveling to Canada in search of a better future for their family. Overnight, Favor became an orphan in her own father's house. Not long after the funeral, her uncle Tade, her father's younger brother, arrived with his wife and their 2 children, both younger than Favor. They moved into the family house, claiming it was now their responsibility to take care of her. But very quickly, the truth emerged. Within a week, Uncle Tade began treating Favor cruelly. He sent her on dangerous late-night errands, gave her harsh punishments for the smallest mistakes, forced her to do every single house chore alone, and often sent her to bed hungry while his own children ate well. The once bright 13-year-old girl became the household chef, cleaner, errand runner, laundry girl, and unpaid nanny, all in her late father's home. Every morning, Favor woke before dawn to bathe and dress her uncle's children for school, iron their uniforms, pack their lunches, and see them off. Meanwhile, no one bothered to check whether Favor herself was attending school. Her own education was neglected. Her books gathered dust while she scrubbed floors, washed mountains of clothes, and cared for the very children who looked down on her. This painful routine continued for nearly a full year. The house that once echoed with her parents' laughter now felt like a prison. Sadness filled her heart, but so did a growing determination. One night, after yet another day of hunger and humiliation, Favor made up her mind. She could no longer stay. With tears streaming down her face, she packed a small bag containing the few things she still owned: a faded photograph of her smiling parents, one worn-out dress, and a handful of coins she had secretly saved from running errands. At midnight, while the household slept, 14-year-old Favor slipped out of the gate and disappeared into the dark streets of Lagos. The city was unforgiving. The first days were a nightmare of hunger, fear, and exhaustion. She wandered busy markets begging for food, slept in abandoned market stalls or under bridges, and shivered through cold, mosquito-filled nights. One terrible evening, a group of street boys cornered her, stole her small bag, and left her bruised and broken. Losing the last photo of her parents felt like losing them all over again. She fell seriously ill after drinking unclean water, curling up with fever in a corner of a noisy bus park, whispering the prayers her mother once taught her. Death seemed close, but something inside her refused to give up. Favor remembered her father's favorite words: "Education is the key that unlocks any door, no matter how tightly shut." Weak but determined, she dragged herself to a local orphanage run by a compassionate NGO. The matron, Mama Aisha, looked into Favor's tired eyes and saw not just pain, but fire. She took the girl in. Life in the orphanage was strict and simple: shared chores, plain meals, crowded dormitories, but it was fair. For the first time in a long time, Favor was treated with dignity. She threw herself into the orphanage's small school, studying by lantern light after chores. Her sharp mind and hunger to learn made her stand out. Teachers noticed. Donors noticed. Scholarships began to come. The years turned like pages. At 18, Favor earned a full university scholarship to study business administration in Abuja. She worked part-time as a tutor and waitress, saving every kobo she earned. She graduated with first-class honors. Her story of resilience caught attention, and she landed a job at a growing microfinance company. There, her empathy born from her own suffering and her brilliant mind made her shine. She rose quickly, eventually becoming a manager and launching programs that helped orphan children access small education loans. By age 25, Favor had started her own financial consulting firm, traveling across Nigeria and beyond to teach financial literacy, especially to vulnerable girls and young women. She wrote a memoir called From Ashes to Wings, which became an inspiration to thousands. Success had come not by luck, but by relentless belief, tireless hard work, and unshakable trust in herself. Then, one ordinary afternoon in her office, her phone rang. It was a lawyer representing a loan company. He explained something shocking. Years earlier, before the plane crash, Favor's parents had taken out a large loan to finance their relocation to Canada. They had used the family house as collateral. After their death, no one had repaid the debt. With compound interest, the amount had grown enormous. The house legally belonged to Favor as their sole heir, but it could be seized at any moment. The lawyer revealed the painful detail. Uncle Tade had been living in the house all these years, ignoring every notice and demand letter the loan company had sent. Favor's heart pounded with memories, anger, and a strange sense of justice. She arranged to accompany the loan officers to the property. When they arrived, the house looked tired and neglected, paint peeling, compound overgrown. Uncle Tade, now older and worn, stood at the door with his wife and their grown children. They stared in disbelief as the officers explained the situation. The debt was valid. The collateral was the house, and eviction proceedings would begin immediately unless the full amount was paid. Tade's face drained of color. He stammered excuses, then begged Favor for mercy, reminding her they were family. But Favor stood tall, her voice calm and steady. "You took my home when I needed it most. You turned my father's house into a place of suffering for me. Now fate has brought everything full circle." Instead of revenge, Favor chose a different path, using the savings and profits from her successful business. She paid off the entire debt herself. Then she took back the house, not to live in it, but to transform it. She renovated the building completely and turned it into a safe shelter and skills center for orphaned and vulnerable girls, naming it Grace and Hope Haven in memory of her parents. The house that once held her tears now held the laughter and dreams of girls who reminded her of her younger self. Uncle Tade and his family were forced to move to a much smaller apartment. In time, pride gave way to humility. A fragile reconciliation began, never perfect, but enough for peace to settle. Favor's life became living proof. No matter how dark the night, belief in yourself, hard work, and trust in a higher purpose can rewrite your story. Pain can become purpose. Loss can become legacy. And somewhere, her parents smiled, knowing their little girl had turned ashes into wings.